Welcome, guys, to episode 5 of Cold Wans. Oh, it's nice and warm today. To be fair, the sun was out. Hopefully, it comes back. Make this one a little bit easier for the Donny. Oh, my guest today is Paul Bain. On you come, my man.
Hi guys, I'm Paul. I'm an alcoholic addict.
Nice and just jump straight into it. Love it. We all know how Cold Ones works by this point. Well, unless you're new. If you're new, what we do is a 5-minute cold plunge in the ice bath, and then after that we go into the cabin for now a 20-minute post plunge warm up interview with the person that comes on. Yeah, well, I think we're ready to go. You ready?
Yep.
Love
Let's
that.
do it.
Oh, yeah. Right. Just take the cover off it. And then there'll be like a wee protective layer as well. Just chuck that out. Oh. And then whenever you're ready, we go.
Well,
Yeah.
oh, it's cold.
Just chill. Oh. Right, well, let's get talking. So my first topic that I want to speak about is actually something that you commented on, because I think that would be a brilliant idea if you think that was a good topic for me to talk about.
Alcoholism.
No. So you popped up on a post that I'd done about not begging people to stay in your life. I think that would be a great thing for you to talk about, considering you thought that was a good topic for me.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts and feelings on people begging people to stay in their lives?
See, I've done that in my past myself. Like with one of my ex-girlfriends, and I begged her to stay into my life, but obviously it never worked. You know, she obviously had other things to do with her life, and I was like really heartbroken.
Yeah.
And I begged and begged and begged. I even turned around to her and said I was going to kill myself.
Yeah.
And obviously it never worked like that.
Like I said when I was in my cold bath myself, it's like, why spend the time begging someone to stay in your life when there's people around you that would happily stay in your life without the begging part? And that's the people you need to really hold on to, because they're the ones that are special to your heart, and that give, like, they really care about you. So begging people to stay in your life is just not worth it, in my opinion. It's like, some people are there to come, some people are there to go. Some people come for a season, and that's just how it is. Like, you can't ask everyone to stay in your life forever, especially if they don't want to.
What were you saying about that? Obviously, people for a season and all that. I mean, I tried helping a lot of people in my past, time and effort, and obviously they've used me, but I've just found out I've been used and abused by them. Like, you know.
Yeah, that's the other thing. When you beg people, they usually come into your life, they use you, or they come in for a reason because they need that person in their life, and they know that you're a caring person, so they know that you'll be blindsided by what they do, and then you just look like a mug at the end of the day because they've left you in the cold. So it's a mad thing, this whole begging people to stay in your life. I think. Got anything else to add to that? No. Oh, my second topic for you was, obviously, you're without being a dick, you're a little bit older than me, so I was gonna ask you from my point of view, how different is it, like the whole social factor? You obviously work with a lot of younger people, so you kind of do know what it's like in our like generation with the younger folk. Was it much different back when you were younger, or how was it?
I've always been a loner. Like I've never really had any real friends. Like, you know what I mean. It's always been like a pop in and pop out. Like, you know what I mean. And yeah, I mean it's a lot. Obviously, it's a lot different. I mean, freedom of speech and all that. Like, I mean, there wasn't any Black Lives Matter. There wasn't any all this gay pride and all that. I mean, it wasn't even talked about when I was a child. Like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I from just like knowing a bit, and my mum and dad being a little bit older as well, I do know that the way that the world used to work was completely different from now. That, like you're saying, there's a lot more support for different races, different ways of life. There's a lot more acceptance in the world. There's still problems, lots of them. I mean, I wouldn't be doing something like this if there was no problems. So, but like, there has been a massive shift. I think, even in the last like 30, 40 years, like it's a mad difference. I think, especially now that media's taken over though as well, I think that's a new problem. It's went from people being like attacking other races and stuff because of what they look like or what they believe in, and now it's more people judge people on social media because of the way they look and because they don't look like certain celebrities and stuff. It's became like it's a shifting problem. There's still a
Yeah,
problem. It's just it's completely different way of going about it
it's
now.
it's just a different generation. Like, you know what I mean? Obviously, when I was growing up, we could say whatever we wanted. Well, now you just can't say boo to anybody at the
Yeah,
moment without being accused of being racist or homophobic or whatever.
yeah. It's like yeah, I don't know. It's again because I wasn't really brought up in the whole big generation of it being very racially motivated and very against like gay people and stuff. I'm not too inclined to the whole situation, but from what I know now, I understand what you mean. Like you can say anything now, and sometimes it's just taken completely out of blown out the water. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And it is kind of mad, but I mean, there'll always be problems in the world. There's no way to fix that. You can do whatever you want, and you'll never be able to fix everything. There's always going to be problems,
yeah,
and that's just how it is, I suppose.
agree with that. Like,
But oh, I think the 5 minutes is just about up, and I am pretty cold.
yep,
You're pretty cold.
a little bit.
So yeah, we'll see you over in the post plunge. Oh, this is in the post plunge warm up, guys. It's nice and warm in here.
Yeah.
Oh, so how was it, Paul? How did you enjoy that cold bath?
Oh, that was bloody freezing.
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
no.
it is usually quite cold, but it's good once you get out and once you warm up. You'll quite enjoy the whole warm up part of it because you get this weird feeling in your body that's just unlike anything else once you're nice and warm. But yeah, so you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah,
Give us some insight.
my name's Paul. I'm an alcoholic addict.
Paul has been through quite a bit of life, to say the least. So when he was younger, he came from Liverpool, was it?
Came from south Liverpool.
So he's been south side of Liverpool, and in his younger sort of time, he was drinking a lot, and he's been a recovering alcoholic. So, what have you got any insights or like helpful messages for some people? Maybe.
Yeah, I really struggled with alcohol for over a period of 15 years. I put down the drugs, and then I started drinking quite heavily. I didn't think it was a problem at first. I was always in denial. But with time, all my life started going from. I had a mortgage, I had a house and a mortgage, I had a car, well, I didn't have a car. I just had everything in life, had a good job and all that, but bit by bit, it just sort of taken away from me. And then obviously I met a girl from Scotland, and she asked me to come to Scotland. I think it was 2005, and all my life all I was doing was just drinking, waking up drinking, going to work drinking, and then obviously bit by bit my life started deteriorating. But obviously I kept saying I never had a problem.
Yeah.
It was always somebody else's. It was always someone else's fault.
Yeah.
It's either my friends. I even moved from Southport to Wigan to Blackpool to Scotland, and everywhere I went, there was chaos.
Yeah.
And my sponsor turned around to me. He said, "It's not your friends that are a problem. It's not him, she, her, whatever. I was the problem. It was me who was the problem.
Yeah.
Wherever I went, there was chaos.
Yeah.
No matter where I went." And obviously, when came to Scotland, that's when drinking just took off. I was just drinking every day, and I got to a stage where I was losing my family, losing my kids. I've not spoken to my kids for 10 years through my drinking. They don't want to speak to me at the moment. You know what I mean? And it's heartbreaking for me because obviously I want a relationship with my children, but they don't have a relationship with me. All they saw was an evil, nasty man.
Yeah.
And I can't do nothing about it until they come up to me and say, "Look, we want a relationship with Dad."
Yeah.
Relationships. all my life was just like lying, cheating, whatever, just to get through life
Yeah.
through alcohol. Alcohol just took my life away from me.
Yeah.
But obviously, with that, about 2009, I come to this decision where I was going to go into a rehab, and it was the best decision I ever made. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was in there for 6 months in this rehab, and obviously they taught me, like, just started taking away the leaves. I was like an orange, where they were just taking away the
The skin.
bits, the skins and all that, and getting right into the cure. What happened? Why I was drinking, and the real reason why I was drinking is because I was sexually abused when I was a child. And now I don't really talk about that because it's just, I just find I thought I was a problem. I was a victim. It was my fault.
Yeah.
Why I got sexual abuse by my brother and his friends. So I don't really talk about that because I always think that I was. But since I went to rehab and he was talking about it and kept talking about it and kept talking about it, I wasn't the problem.
Yeah.
It was my problem. The people who done it to me was the problem. They had the problem.
Trauma.
So, and obviously, that was one of the reasons why I was doing alcohol, drugs, because I was just running away from the past.
Yeah.
But now today, I can just. I can just get on with it because I've dealt with that. I've dealt with that trauma. Like, you know what I mean? I've talked about it. I've been to psychiatrists. I've been to different doctors and all that, and I've talked about it. And I'm not ashamed no more.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part of it, is not being ashamed of what you've done.
Yeah.
Because you're not the problem. It's the other people that are problems.
Yeah.
So that was it. And then obviously my drinking, got to a stage where I had to go to a rehab centre and all that, and it just sort of like changed my life. But when I came out of rehab, I did have 3 relapses.
Yeah.
But that's my story. This is what I had to go through to grow. If I never had these relapses, I wouldn't have gone like, why did I do that? Why is it happening again?
Yeah.
What we're doing now, what I'm doing differently. But this day and age, I'm now 9 years sober, which is when I look back in my life, I should have been dead before.
Yeah. Yeah. So amazing change.
And I was like, and now I just like I get a really good kick, or really helps me because I help other people.
Yeah.
In either early recovery or people in recovery.
Yeah.
And to me, it just brings a smile to my face.
Yeah.
And knowing that if I put things on Facebook or put things on TikTok or whatever, people look at that and go, "Oh, it's fucking fantastic. I'm going through this.
Yeah.
I'm going through, obviously this guy's gone through it, so he's telling people, you know what I mean?
Telling your story.
So,
yeah. Well, thank you for that. That was good. That's a lot of people need to hear stuff like that and see, being able to be that honest and not lie and just put it out there. It's just amazing. I'm glad that you've got through everything you got through. You're looking great now.
It's not been, to be honest with you, Kyle, it's not been an easy roller coaster. Obviously, I had the ups and downs, and pick myself up, and why is it happening to me? And I wish I could go outside and go have a drink with my mates and all that. Be a gentleman. But I know I can't. Once I pick that first drink up, all bets are off in my way I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Or even a one line of Coke or a couple of snorts of fucking Ecsy tablets or whatever. It's all bets are off.
Yeah. I'm
a liar, cheater, dishonest. I don't want to be that person anymore. I've done all that, and I'm like, today I'm like honest, I'm lovely. I don't lie anymore.
Yeah.
I can wait and go to bed in the morning. I can go to bed at night and wake up in the morning and I knew what I'd done the night before. And that is the difference today. I've not hurt anybody. Or I've not fucking caused any chaos in my life.
It's like day and night.
Yeah.
It's good though. It's I'm proud of what you've done and how much you've came through. And like you say, if you thought you were meant to be dead at one point, the fact that you're still here and well, and you're doing well for yourself, is really uplifting. And I'm happy for you. I'm really glad that you've made it out the other end of that, because it seems like a lot, and I can't speak from experience because I've never been there, but it's a lot. I can imagine dealing with it as well was a lot.
But people say to me that I got a lot of people, oh, recovery's not going to work for me. It does work if you put the effort in.
Yeah.
You've got to put the effort in. I mean, I was one of these where, like, it's like, sticking my two fingers up at everybody. People who are trying to help me, I was sticking my two fingers. No, it's not going to help me. No, it's not doing work. You're not helping me. And it was only until I took the. It's only because one person in my life, which is a good guy that I speak to quite a lot, he guided me through a lot. I mean, the first relapse I had was that lasted 18 months, 2 years, and I should have been dead within that period, and obviously I wasn't. And then he came along and guided me and fed me and locked me in a room and looked after me for 6 months. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Second relapse was it only lasted 2 weeks, and then the third one it's only lasted 3 or 4 days. And I had to take the cotton wool out of my ears and put it in my mouth, and just do the work.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do the work, it's not going to work for you.
Yeah, nothing's going to change. Wow. That's crazy, man. So one guy took you in for 6 months and helped you along the way.
Looked after me. I was just a shell. I wasn't. There was nothing left of me. There was all my spirit is gone. And everything was just. I was just existing. I wasn't living. I was just existing. I was grunting. I was moaning. Get me a drink and all that, and I'd be hiding it from myself.
Yeah.
I didn't want anyone else, I didn't want people to know that what I was doing. So what I'd do, I'd put it in my jacket, and off I go. And as soon as that fucking drink hit me, I was like, fucking thank God for that.
That's mad, man. See, it's funny because I've known Paul for a while, but I've never even heard half of this stuff. So it's like, it's news to me as much as it's news to you, because most of you won't know Paul. But I know Paul, and I don't even know half this stuff. So the fact that he's telling me this now is like, it's a lot on even me. Like, I'm getting hit by a brick wall right now by all the information, which is good, and that's what folk want to hear. I need to hear this whole story thing. This is the whole point of Cold Ones, so folk can talk about their story and get out there, because a lot of folk won't talk about their story online and let everyone else know, and they can't then relate, or if not relate, but learn from it. So this is what this is all about, and this is a very good change of scenery from the last couple, even, because it's like just completely different. Even for me, I don't know what's going on right now. I'm just listening, and it's good news. Like, I'm enjoying the information. So
it's not because it's because I'm not today. I'm honest today, and and nothing can stop me achieving out the goals that I set out to do.
Yeah.
It wasn't so long ago. I started driving lessons a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, and I love it. Like, I would have done that 6 months ago, or 5 years ago. I would have gone, you're right then. There's a lot of things that are happening to me, and it's in a good sense. It's not in a bad sense. It's a lot of things. Are coming out of me. I've just started doing spiritualism.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a medium. Because I really look forward to doing things like that. And I speak to the angels, and I speak to the universe.
Yeah.
Now, you know what I mean. I never even thought I'd do that.
Yeah.
And a lot of good stuff is coming into me, into my life now.
Yeah.
I've just got myself a little flat on my own. I live on my own. I'm single now, and and there's a lot of good stuff coming my way.
Started to build up from the bottom again, getting back onto your feet from where you were before, way before.
Yeah, I've got money in my pocket now today.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing, man. Oh, going off of what you spoke about as well. Obviously, you on social media, you're quite like me, and you like to post stuff about your past or your traumas to then dump it onto other people so that they can learn from it or they can kind of relate on it. I mean, I can from my point of view, I can already see what the reason for that is. But like to people out there, is there any like main reason that you do what you do?
The reason why I do it is because I like people. I like, obviously, with me being in recovery now and all that, and I've seen. I mean, I've lost a load of people like took their own lives, they've got killed on drugs, they've drank themselves to death, you know. And I've seen it, suicidal, and I mean, I get a lot of people coming up, young people, I'm gonna killing themselves, like, you know. And to me, it's like, whoa, hang on a minute, I've got to do something about this. I can't sit here and say nothing, like, you know what I mean. And if I can only just help one person out of 5,000 people, I've done my job.
Yeah.
I'm not like, if one person comes up to, that wasn't so long ago, was it last week? I got a message from a girl. She just come out of rehab. I didn't even know from Adam. I've chatted her on Facebook because she was in the groups and all that. And she messaged me on Wednesday, and she turned around to me. She goes, "Paul, I've seen a couple of your posts on Facebook. Thank you.
Yeah.
You've guided me so much." Like, and to me, that is like, whoa, hang on a minute. I woke up in the morning going, whoa, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
And I was walking to work with a big grin on my face because it was like, you know what? I've helped someone.
Yeah.
I've helped. Even though people look at my posts and go, "Oh, this load of rubbish."
Yeah.
To me, it's not.
Yeah.
Or to an alcoholic, or to a drug addict, or to someone who's going to take their own lives, that's meaningful for them.
Yeah.
That's what they need to hear, and that's the way I do it.
Yeah. That's good. See, that's I really wanted Paul on it because we both kind of are in the same sort of headspace just now with like trying to help other people with what we've. I mean, mine's is not nearly as deep as his. I'm not going to take anything away from Paul, but like when it comes to like the whole mindset that we both got, there's not a lot of people. There's a good amount of people that have the same mindset, but nowadays it's like it's a less people care about other people and more only care about themselves. And I think a lot of people need to try and change that and be more there for other people because there's a lot of people that need help around us and you wouldn't know because they won't speak about it. And that's why I do what I do every single day with the cold baths and speak. That's why I do cold ones so I can bring other people on and let them speak. It's like the whole dynamic of looking after each other, it's kind of just blown out the water now. And these little posts, even if you think they're stupid, these little posts are what makes a difference in some people's lives, like Paul was saying. And some people do look at it and it does genuinely change their day. So that's the reason I do it. That's the reason he does it. I mean, there's not really much else to it. It's just we should all care a bit more about each other and not go off face value and kind of have this hate towards each other that there's just no need for. It's a social thing, you know what I mean?
The one thing I like to say is, don't get me wrong, when I was drinking or doing drugs or whatever, I was the most selfish bastard. Sorry about my language, but the most selfish person in the world. All I cared about was my drink.
Yeah.
I didn't care about you. I wouldn't care about you. I wouldn't care about him. I wouldn't care about anybody. I even on a topic where you said begging and all that, which just reminded me as well. I used to beg my kids. I used to say to my kids when I was in hospital, get me stomach pumped or all these tubes and everything. I promise you, I will not drink. Or I promise you I won't take a line. I promise you I won't do nothing. Promises never mean anything to them. Because as soon as I was discharged, I was in the off license again.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like if you know yourself that you were dishonest in that, then I can understand why they're not going to believe that.
And
that promise.
It just happened. It happened every time.
Yeah.
I mean, these kids. My lads now. I mean, they're 30 years of age, like, you know what I mean. And but at the time, they was only like 9 or 10, coming up 12. Well, the oldest one was about 12, I think. And he was like phoning the ambulance. My dad's in hospital. My dad, I need an ambulance. My dad's collapsed. And it's all because it's drink. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I'd leave him and I'd go to the pub. But they stood by me. I mean, don't get me wrong, these three lads who stuck by me from thick and thin, like, you know what I mean? But the other, like I say, I lost them, the other three kids for me drinking and all that. And they don't know me.
Yeah.
I've not spoke to them for 10, 15, 10 years now. Like,
It's heavy, man. It's really heavy. But I mean, do you think you'll ever have contact with them again?
I don't know. Well, obviously, I like to, you know what I mean? And it was a couple, was it last year or something? I mean, one of them did reach out to me and wish me happy Father's Day, you know what I mean? And I was like, what do I do to respond to that? Or to just let on that I never saw it? Or, but I did respond to it, you know, and we did have a little relationship. But like she turned around to me, one of the messages were, "You've hurt me so much, Dad. You know, how can I have a relationship with you at the moment? I'm not ready to have a relationship with you." And I've got to accept that.
Yeah.
See, a lot of things I did in my life, I always struggled from accepting, like I couldn't drink again, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that, and I was like, I couldn't even accept working at McDonald's. When I was working at McDonald's, I blamed the government, I blamed McDonald's, I blamed the people who I was working with, and they was only doing the job. And I mean, what should I mean, I was 30, 34, 35. No, I was a bit older than that. I think I was just in the 40s or something. And I was getting told by an 18-year-old to go and mop the floor. They don't even know who I am. Why should I go mop the floor? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But they was just doing a job, and I couldn't accept that. Yeah. And it took me a long time to accept it. Once I managed to accept it, the doors just opened like that. Yeah. Yeah. And that's where I am today. Like, you know what I mean? If someone asks me to mop the floor, I'll mop the floor. Yeah. You know, I may moan and groan about it, like, but I'll still do it. Yeah.
Acceptance is a massive factor in life. If you start to accept things, even if you're not completely happy with doing them, like you're saying, it does open up those doors, because the minute you start accepting things and you accept what you've done wrong, or you accept what you're getting asked to do, your life does get a lot easier. And acceptance is one of the hardest things for a lot of people, because a lot of people, like you say, don't like having to accept what they've done, because it's easier just to ignore it or put it to the side. Or if it's in the case of accepting what someone else is telling you to do, sometimes that's hard for you, because it's just, you don't like that whole ideology of someone telling you what to do. And it's like, it's all just a learning curve of acceptance, you know what I mean? You need to get to a point where you can accept what you've done wrong or what you're getting asked to do. And it just comes naturally if you do accept things. Like, everything does, like he says, opens up, and it gets easier for everybody.
Don't get me wrong, guys. I mean, I hate the word. I'm one of these guys that don't like the word acceptance. But once I accepted a lot of things in my life, doors always opened for me, and that's why I am today. Like, you know what I mean? I have to put my ego to the side and go, you know what, start it. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. My egos can be a fucking huge thing, like, you know what I mean? And I have to put it to bed sometimes. So I still get the little voices in me here going, you know, don't do that. You know, but I've got to ignore it. Just go like that. I can't just ignore it. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still have to wake up in the morning every day and do my prayers and you know, and do my little thing I have to do, because of these little voices in my head can go, you tell me lies sometimes, like, you know what I mean? Oh, it's okay to have a drink, Paul, you know what I mean? You're fucking great. You're a good guy. Mm-hmm. You worked hard. You worked 6 days a week this week. That's all lies. Yeah. That's just my little conscience going, they want me to drink. Yeah. Yeah. It's all in your head. Man. That was a heavy session, I think. But I think we should probably, I don't know how long we've been speaking for, but it feels like it's probably been quite a decent amount of time. So, just like every other post-plunge warm-up, I've got to ask you one question. And that question is, have you got a message for the people out there? I've got 2 messages, actually. I've got one, it's okay not to be okay, which I do agree on that. Like, it's okay if you're not okay. That's a really good message for me. I'm just going to say that one. Right? Yeah, okay, that's fine. Oh, have you got anything to adapt onto your message? So, like, you got anything else just to add to it, or is that? All I can say is, like, you know, I mean, if you're struggling or anything like that, just you can just drop me a message on Facebook or whatever, and I'll sit there and talk to you, or I can help you, guide you, or whatever. I like helping. Obviously, I like helping people. Like, you know what I mean. So, I mean, many people message me all the time or phone me or whatever, and I'll just even if I'm just an ear to listen to.
Mhm.
You can just sit there. I can sit there and I won't even say anything. You can just rant and rave at me. You know what I mean? But it's better. It's better than being out than in.
Yeah.
Because if it's in, you just start festering out and all that. Like, and it causes even more problems. Because if anyone like me, I'm an overthinker anyway.
Yeah.
And I do overthink, and I put arms and legs on things, and
Yeah.
and make it 10 times worse. So even now, I have to pick up the phone and go, "Listen, pal, this is what's happening for me."
Yeah. It's always better to get out there, to be fair. And I mean, the whole message about it's okay to be not, it's okay to not be okay. It's a good message, because a lot of people nowadays think it's not okay to be not to be not okay to be okay. But I mean, it is. Everyone's gonna have their days. It's like you can't always be perfect. Life's not. You're not meant to be perfect in life.
Nobody's perfect in this life, even me. I'm not perfect.
Exactly. Like there's always gonna be grey areas in your life, and it's gonna be the same for everybody. So you're no different. Don't think you're any different. Don't think you're any less just because you have got these issues. You have to just accept them, like we said, and just kind of trod through the mud, and then eventually you'll come to the other side where the light is, and you will realize that all the things you went through had a reason. And it all develops you into who you're going to become. Things that happen to you, for everything happens to you for a reason. There's no negatives to what happens. It all builds you into who you are now, and that's the most important thing. Because without these life lessons and stuff, you wouldn't be the person you are today. And that's all I can think of when I think of people that think it's not okay to be okay. You got to learn somewhere. You got to build yourself up from the base. But have you got anything else to add?
No, because I had everything else, I think.
Well, that was a great way to close off our episode 5 of Cold Wans. I'll link everything down for Paul to go follow his Instagram. He's got a Facebook account. That's where he usually posts all his other stuff. He's got a TikTok account if you want to see his daily TikToks. They're quite good, quite funny. But except from that, thank you very much, Paul, for coming on. It was an absolute pleasure to hear your story, and honestly, you've gave me a lot of insight into you as well, which is really good for me, because now I feel like I know you in a better base, which is good for me. And it also gives me other things to talk about, because hearing from you then opens up other stories for me as well. Not as deep as that, because again, you've had a lot more things happen to you than I have, but it just makes me think about deeper into all the things, and seeing like someone that's got that genuine trauma and speaking to me. It does widen everything for me as well, which is great. It was a pleasure having you on. But anyway, oh man, I'll see you again tomorrow.